everybody. It's Maurice Brown on the Maurice Brown Show. Got a great guest for you today from Washington, D.C., right now live from New Orleans, Louisiana. But this comic has been in Washington, D.C. for, I've known him for about 5 or 6 years, a very well-respected comedian in Washington, D.C. He's a comedy show host. Works with Haywood Turnipseed Jr. He does showcases, host showcases. Very well-respected comic in Washington, D.C., live from New Orleans. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the very funny and the very talented Mike Brown.
What's up, Maurice? Hose for applause.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, man, what's been going on, man? I don't think I've seen you, man, in like about, I don't think I've seen you in about a year and a half, 2 years. What's been going on other than COVID-19?
Man, listen, nothing. I'm over here. Like I said, I'm in New Orleans right now. My friends, I got to do this real quick. I don't know if they're watching. I want to shout out Jason and Ebony Palmer. Congratulations on your marriage. I was the best man of the wedding, and I'm down here just celebrating their nuptials. You know, it was a really beautiful ceremony. Outside of that, man, I'm just trying not to catch any of the COVID. I'm not trying to catch anything. It's a crazy time. Crazy time to be alive.
Well, you know, I mean, we're all trying not to catch the COVID, and we're trying not to cough even when we got to cough. But you know, hey, man, it is what it is, man. I'm not trying to go down to the hospital or nothing. So yeah, we trying not to catch the COVID. Mike, a lot of guys, a lot of comics are doing outside shows now. We were just talking about it before we went on air. And then you got the Zoom, the virtual platform. Have you done stand up on Zoom?
I have. I have, and I don't like it. I don't like it. It's one of those things. It's cool. You know, it's a great alternative. I've only done maybe like a handful of them. It's just a weird feeling, you know, because as a comedian, you're trained to, you know, laughter and stuff like that. You don't know if somebody got their mics muted, and you walk somebody out the Zoom room, they didn't cut the camera off. You know, so it's like a weird feeling. It's almost like doing a podcast, right? But when you do a podcast, you're already trained knowing that you basically, unless you got somebody on the show, which is like me and you right now. We're on the show, we can vibe back and forth, but you ever done a podcast by yourself, you're trained to, you know, you're just talking, and hopefully whatever you're saying is funny, gets a reaction, whatever. But you just act like you're in the room, you know, to get that reaction. When you're doing a Zoom show, you're still seeing people, and if you don't get that reaction, you automatically feel like you're bombing, but you may not be bombing.
You just don't know.
You don't know, and I don't like that feeling. I need to know.
And then you got somebody over here eating some chicken noodles, and this person's talking to the grandma or trying to wake her up, one of the two, and that person is on their cell phone. It's like, you know, and then you have some people that are paying attention and they are laughing, and you can hear them, and you see their facial expressions, and you can kind of vibe off of that, and it's not too bad. I mean, it's better than I thought it was, you know, when I found out that, you know, you can see faces on the laptop, but it is nowhere near, you know, replacing a live audience. And so it's kind of hard to stay motivated to keep doing them. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm doing this like 2-3 times a week, which is good, just to keep some kind of vibe going for performing. But it's just hard, man. And now they're doing outdoor shows. What do you think about that?
Oh, I'm having fun with the outdoor shows. Actually, what's funny about the outdoor shows is it's weird that we haven't, and we might have had like a few that started doing them prior to the pandemic. But it's funny how now, like, looking at it, it's like, why didn't we do this before? You know, like have a good outside show. And I think we got so used to being stuck on the formula of tight knit indoors, you know, laughing, you know, the science of comedy. But,
right.
But you know, this is like something that it kind of forced everybody to think outside the box now. You know, I've seen drive-in shows, and you got friends. I'm doing a show with my man Tommy Taylor Jr. It's called the Almost Ladies Night Show. It's literally in his backyard. We have about 15, 20 people tops all together in his backyard, and we're doing comedy in his backyard, and it's just as fun. You get the same you get the same reaction. Everybody's socially distanced, and it's a great time. And now it's just one of those things where it's like, man, why wasn't we doing this prior to the pandemic? Like, you know how many businesses would be out of business, like as far as like comedy wise? You're always looking for the perfect venue.
Yeah.
And then this pandemic forced us to be like, yo, let me just do some landscaping, and let me trim my hedges and retreat my fence, and then throw some decorations in the back. And then boom, I can have a show right here in my backyard if I'm comfortable with people knowing my address.
But see, now but now the problem now, Mike, is getting ready to get cold.
Yeah.
And so now we have another conundrum of all right, now what? You see what I'm saying?
You buy you a couple of tents. We're already thinking about it. Like I actually have a tent that I need to get out my garage. So you get a couple of tents, maybe like a heating lamp, whatever. Because me and Tom was doing one show, might have been a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. And our audience and is I must say 85% black. Okay. And out of 85% black is 90-some% black women. And at the end of the show, it started to rain. Okay. And the enemy of the black woman is humidity. Oh, Mike. And that water started coming down. I've never seen a show pack up and leave so fast. Yeah. like we had no more bags. They got the trash, they got all the bags, all the CVS bags wrapped up their hair and everything. It was a sight to behold. I loved it. As a black man, I love to see it. But those are like the little things that you gotta be mindful of. That weather change. It's getting a little nippy outside now. Yeah. So it was a good run. It was a good run, outside run. But you don't know. You just gotta kind of adjust to it. But I mean, outside shows to me are like the best. I was supposed to do a drive-in show, but out in Springfield, and I made a mistake, and this was on me. This was a business mistake. I assumed we talked all the good stuff, Maurice. How much time I'm going to do, where's the venue, and how much I'm getting paid. Once I hit those three markers, and we agree on those, I think
you're good to go. Yeah.
But then he asked for my emails. I said my email, and then I was supposed to confirm via email. Yeah. So because I saw the email, I looked at it, I was like, oh, okay, cool. We're just basically rehashing out all of the terms that we already agreed to on Facebook Messenger. And so the next day, maybe like a couple of days later, I went back into the email I'm like, hey man, you never gave me the address. And he was like, oh, we didn't know you was really about doing the show, so we booked somebody else. And I was like, man, I thought we already agreed. So that was the lesson to me. But like, yo, this is, even if you already assume that you agree to terms, just be like confirm, respect. I got it. I'm here. Here's my routing number. Something just to let them know. But it was gonna be a dope show, man. They had it's a drive-in show. I'm not able to plug it because they took me off the show, so whatever. But it was gonna be like 40 inches. They had like these big screens on both sides of the stage. It was like a mobile amphitheater. They go all across the country, like a little mobile amphitheater, and it was gonna be like 300 people. It was a drive-through. It was a drive-in, and I was ready to be on that thing. They got a DJ and everything. It was gonna be a party, and I'm not gonna plug them, but miscommunication. I say all that to say there are a lot of creative ways now to do shows. And, yes. And we didn't have that before. So, I'm looking forward to post-pandemic to see if we could keep that same momentum going and learn. Because that's the other thing too when it comes to comedy is now we're learning new ways. Because go back to the science, close packed in, low ceilings, acoustics, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. But now you got to be funny when it's socially distanced. Because I've done the show at the Draft House, the Arlington Draft House. And in Virginia, I think it's like 35% capacity, and they open back up, whatever. But I think one of the shows only had like 20 people, but it was like 20 people spread out amongst the Arlington Draft House, which holds like 300 people.
Oh man, yeah.
You got to really like retrain your brain to do comedy a different way. I'm long with it. Maurice, you could have told me to shut up 3 minutes ago. But yeah,
no, that's good. No, I mean it's good information from me because I'm surprised you're telling me that the outdoor show was working pretty good because we know as comics that the laughs go up in the air and disappear and then people were spread out and it's harder to get the laugh. But you're saying it works out pretty good, so that's good news. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I mean, because at the end of the day, hey, look, you gotta look at it like this, Maurice. Just like we've been in the house for almost 6 months. I'm close to, let's just say it, close to a year. I'm rounding up. I'm ready for 2020 to go with close to a year, and they've been in the house too. So one of the things, so one of the things as comics that I've told a lot of comics, like we basically everybody, no matter where you was at pre-pandemic, where we at right now, everybody's at ground zero. We're all rusty. We're all, they just, they just want to be entertained, and we just want to get these jokes off and get our rhythm back. And I mean, from the outside shows, you still get the laughs, you still get the same amount of laughs, but it's not like those, because the ceiling, the laughs are just going up and it's gonna keep going up. But it's still the same reaction. You looking on their face. If they dying laughing, you get that same adulation that you would get any other time. Yeah. It just, it's just a little different. It's just you having to break that mental lock of this is how it's supposed to be. That's a little bit. And I'm still holding on to the Zoom joint. I'm not very comfortable with the Zoom because I feel like I think they mute all the mics and I feel like I'm bombing, but I'm not. You muted your mic and I can't hear you. Or your signal's weak. My signal's weak, and what I'm saying, in the middle of my punchline. So now I can't, operate like I want to. It's too many variables.
It's too many variables, but you know what? As you're talking about the pandemic, do you have a prediction, Mike? Because a lot of people say that comedy is never going to look the same. Are you in that same camp? Do you believe that?
I believe so. I mean, it's gonna be. I'm with especially during the seasons. Like now, it's getting, like you say, it's getting cold. We keep mentioning it's getting cold. So you're gonna see a lot more indoor shows, or you're gonna see a lot more like, and it's cold and it's rain, especially like in that area, whatever. You're gonna see a lot more shows that's gonna be under tents. I've seen tent shows and stuff like that. Until these small, until like the improvs and the draft houses and can really open up. But once they all open back up, you're gonna see a lot more outside shows during the summer. You're gonna,
Oh yeah, I can believe that. Yeah.
And you might see more Zoom shows, more like show styles like this, podcast wise, interview wise, stuff like that on social media, because at the end of the day, people are going to be home, and I mean, so it's changed. We're done here. We're done.
So we got Mike Brown on the show, the Maurice Brown show. We got two Browns on the show. Brown's getting in a lot of trouble, Mike. You know what I mean? I find that, I don't know about you, dude, but Brown's getting a lot of trouble, man. Every time I look up, man, Brown did this. I have people calling my house looking for Maurice Brown. I said, I'm not that Maurice. I didn't do it. I've been up here, dude, for about, well, I came up here in 1995, dude, but I have never seen so many Browns in trouble all the time. What about you, Mike? You ever notice that, dude?
Hey, I remember this might be morbid. And I might get the wrong city and stuff down. Charge it to my heart. Remember when Michael Brown died? The cop killed Michael Brown.
Right.
Yeah. And the amount of phone calls I received thinking it was me was amazing yet ignorant at the same time. I'm like, I'm not even in that city. know? Yeah. So it's it's too many Browns.
It's too many Browns. The long and the short of it is, me and Mike, we didn't do it.
Yeah, we didn't do it.
No, we didn't do it. But so Mike, so do you think? Okay, let me get your prediction. When are we going to go back to normal?
As soon as y'all go out and vote now. Real quick, Maurice, since we're here now, I'm glad you brought this up. I've already early voted. I don't know your status like about.
I voted already. Yes, sir.
Don't treat November 3rd like it's election day. Treat it like it's your deadline. Right? treat it treat it like treat it like you had all this time to write a term paper, right? And it's due November 3rd, but you can turn it in early, and the teacher's gonna do some edits or whatever. So
Probably yes.
Yeah, so you got time.
You have time.
You don't have to turn it in at November 3rd. You
Yeah.
just got to have it in by November 3rd. So treat voting like that. Voter started in Virginia. I think it was like the 18th.
I believe so. I believe it was the 18th. Yeah.
I was there on the 19th. I took my woman after we went to the gym. I was like, "Hey, you want to go to Red Lobster?" And she was like, "Cool." I was like, "Oh, look, the polling place has a short line. You might as well go here and vote." And I made her go vote. I took my boy who just got married. We got haircuts. I like, "Hey man, you trying to go to the gym again?" And he was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Hold on. Oh look, the polling place is open. Let's just go there and go vote." So if you got friends that just do all you can. I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged. I talk to my friend all the time. I got friends all the time about this, and I'm encouraged by the early voting numbers already.
Yeah,
we're at 6.6 million people already voted in America.
Yeah,
early voted.
Yeah,
and I don't know how those numbers break down as far as like in person or via mail, but and I'm telling people this too. Don't trust the mail. Anything that Trump has said, and I don't mean to call no names. I don't want to make this political show, but anything that he has said out loud, do the direct opposite. So if he says vote, the mail's gonna be rigged, get your ballot in the mail and then take it to the polling place and turn it in. Don't send it back. Don't send it to the post office. If you're able to do it in person early, do it in person early. Look, listen, I've seen y'all at these boat parties and the yacht parties. I've seen y'all with no mask on, no social distancing. Don't tell me you ain't got time to vote. Go vote.
Yeah, I'm like, and dude, I ain't gonna lie, Mike. And the last thing we want is for something bad to happen to the man. I'm glad he's okay and everything. But dude, don't make everybody feel like you're on the verge of maybe losing your life, and then you stand in front of the White House and take the mask off. Like, I'm invincible. I was like, dude, you almost died.
Yeah.
Okay. Put your mask on, man.
No. Hey, look.
Put the mask back
on. No, man. No, Maurice. No. He did right. Take it off. Keep it off. Matter of fact, keep it off for a long time. I mean, we don't know yet, Maurice. Hey, look. You're religious. You're a religious man. I've read the Bible a few times in my day. Look,
okay.
God don't make no mistakes, man. Let's let him work. Let my man get in there. Let his will be done, and then we'll see what happens. It's a win-win for us, Maurice.
I'm just trying to understand, Mike. I mean, some people just ask for it, man.
Yeah.
Some people ask for trouble.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, you're right. Going to the voting booth is what we all as Americans have to do.
Yeah.
Here, right across the board. If we want to go back out and do things like we were doing before, we want to get out of the crib and get back, go vote.
Yeah. Did you see the picture of New Zealand? Like, New Zealand's having full stadiums, no mask on, just playing soccer. Hey. I don't know if that was New Zealand. I don't know if that's.
Well, they all do that over there in Europe. That song, the AO.
Yeah.
They all do that.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, those folks over there, Mike, they kind of got ahead of the game and they just stopped going out. They put their mask on. They were like all in about, hey, look, we got to take this seriously. So now it's kind of, they're not dealing with the same problem we're dealing with. We got a problem. Yeah, we don't want to do the right thing.
Yeah. Well, it's not all of us.
I'm just saying, as a nation across the board, you got so many hard heads out there. I was at the store the other day, Mike. This lady, everybody's got their mask on in line, right? There's one lady, she doesn't have her mask on. She wants us to know I'm not going to wear my mask. She had, eyeballing everybody in the line and everything. Like, ma'am, I don't care. I just do what you do. You know what I mean? You should put the mask on, ma'am. But I mean, hey, I don't care, but she wants us all to know I ain't going to put it on. See, we got too many people like that around.
Yeah. Those people I want to fall down a flight of steps into like I don't like those are the people. I'll say it for you, Maurice, because you're a religious
Yeah.
man. I
Yeah.
read the Bible. I read the Bible when I was like 13. I want them to fall down a flight of steps. They ain't gotta die. I just want them to like. I don't like. That's not what I want. I want them like to fall down, like maybe scrape an elbow or something. Just like to know what real trauma is.
Oh
Like
man.
everything ain't, it's like put on a mask. I mean, it's like the simplest thing. Those are the same people that go trick or treating with a mask on for 30 minutes, walk around with their kids and get candy for their kids doing trick or treating. But you telling me this piece of mask that you only have to put on around other people.
Yeah.
You can't do. You just gonna die. And I think the messaging was wrong. If they said, because in the beginning they said wear the mask because the mask protects other people from you. Like you're doing it for somebody else.
Yeah.
When the message should have been the mask protects you. And had that been the message, then I think a lot more people would be more inclined to wearing a mask.
Now, Mike, let me ask you this as we discuss this voting situation in light of what's happening in the country right now, with the racial climate being hot, i.e. George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, most recently, it was Jacob Blake, got the BLM, all this stuff that's going on, you got the protesting. This is the first time, Mike, I've ever seen the world look at America in disgust over racial division. I don't think, and maybe I'm incorrect, but as far as I can remember, I don't recall the world being, disgusted. And then, so in the midst of all of this stuff that's going on, do you think there's a chance for a positive, effective change to come?
Well, look, 2020 has just been horrible, Maurice. I don't know if you noticed.
It has.
Like this has been. I watch a lot of wrestling. This has just been one horrible storyline.
Yeah,
that keeps dragging out. And I feel like even though the Lakers won, I'm tying this all in. Even though the Lakers won, it was and I'm a Miami Heat fan. Even though the Lakers won, it was a win for injustice. It was a win for Black Lives Matter. It was a win for Breonna Taylor. Just keeping her name out there. It was just a big win for the Black community altogether. And we're winning. We get ready to win. Okay.
Okay.
So we're making that turn where the win is going to happen. We just got to. We took a lot of L's.
Yes, we did.
We took. I mean, we lost Black Panther, Black Mamba. We done lost Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Like a lot of people died. A lot of that helped the community. But I think we started turning that corner. And as far as the world looking at us in disgust, we earned it because y'all voted for this man. Some of y'all voted for this man.
You know what though, Mike? the thing that blows me away when you talk about, like, for example, Breonna Taylor, I'm like, okay, the thing that did it for me, they exonerated these men, they let them go. They didn't prosecute any of them. I don't believe they did anyway, from what I can remember. But how do you they reduced going into the wrong house, killing the wrong person? They reduced it to my bad.
Well, and that falls solely on Cameron Daniels, who I harass a lot on Twitter. Like every chance he posts, I'm right there. Okay. I do a lot of harassment on Twitter. I won't say harassment. I just I at them. And he's that guy. He's that Black guy who, when Martin Luther King said he had a dream, he was like, "You need to wake up." Malcolm X be like, by any means necessary, damn it. And he's like, hey, I mean, but you say by any means, can you just like list the means and I could tell you which ones would be the best? Harriet Tubman said, we will have to go on the Underground Railroad. He like, I don't know, I like it here. I don't want to leave Massa. So he botched it, and he feels like that he has the cloak of protection. We'll say that he has the cloak of protection because he's he's in Kentucky, and then a lot of his Fox News viewers are like on his side, but he forgot one key factor is he's Black, and he's already served his purpose. He got the cops off. He got the cops off, so they really don't need him anymore. So
Right. They don't.
Yeah, and he can. I wish him nothing more but a life full of potato salad raisins and cauliflower casseroles. That's what he deserves, with no seasoning.
Right. Right.
But the more facts that come out about Breonna Taylor, the more it breaks my heart, man. Because I looked at the footage. I only saw like 10 minutes of this TMZ release. I don't know who keeps giving TMZ footage, but they need to stop. but I saw the footage from TMZ where I guess where they actually did the raid. And and I didn't see, they blurred her out, but she was already on the ground because this is like post, after the shooting and stuff like that. But it bothers me because you can see they keep trying to cover it up, and they're not really good liars, because I was always told that there was no body cam footage. So what I'm trying to figure out is where all this body cam footage come from.
Well, you know what, Mike? Look, dude, this stuff happens all the time. I was in a hotel about 2 years ago. I came out to go get breakfast, and in the hallway were like 7 SWAT team guys, and they were all, on top of this guy's door, and they were like,
"Yeah."
I'm like,
"Yeah,
I'm out. I'm leaving, right?" But I'm like, okay. I was ready. I couldn't wait to get down the steps and out of the place because it was getting ready to go down, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, this stuff happens all the time. Okay, I get that part. But when you make a mistake, own the fact that you made a mistake.
Yeah.
Somebody got paid for this. You took somebody's life for no reason.
Yeah.
That's what's scary.
Yeah, and they know they made a mistake because they gave the family $12 million. So not only do you know you made a mistake, you paid the family $12 million, and then you're not going to give them justice. So it's like, so
that's not going to bring Breonna back, giving them $12 million. They, you know what I'm saying? That's what's scary about all of this, Mike, is that they can do this and they can get away with it. You know what I mean? I mean, time and time again.
Yeah,
and
it's always a constant reminder. And no matter how many times they say that it doesn't happen, there's always another reminder that it happens. And like I said, they keep, every time they say something didn't, there's no body cam footage. Now they got body cam footage. I thought there was no body cam footage. It was a no-knock warrant, but they knocked first. Wait a minute. If it's a no-knock warrant, why would you knock first?
Right.
So what, all these facts keep being convoluted, and it's like, just everybody to get, if you're gonna lie, I've been, me and my homeboys, we've lied plenty of times for one another. Okay. We get in the huddle, we're like, look, I messed up. I don't want the old lady to find out. Let's get in the huddle. Let's get the story together.
That's what it is, Mike. It's called the huddle.
Yeah. But it seemed like there was no huddle. It was just like, we're gonna do this, and then more stuff keeps coming out. Like, we need another huddle. Well, I can't meet you at the huddle. I'm in trouble with my old lady. I can't meet up with you. So they just put stuff out there. And that's what this is. This is a no huddle. And every time something comes out, it's like, because Cameron Daniels keeps saying he's following the facts. I'm like, dude, what are the facts? Can you just give us the facts first, and then we can make our own judgment? And then he just now made a motion, because one of the grand jurors wants to speak out, because she's saying that what Cameron Daniels presented isn't what he told the public. Meaning, he didn't offer, murder charges, etc., wasn't put on the table.
Okay.
And so, and then, because had that been on the table, I'm pretty sure the grand jury would have, persecuted these people, whatever. But he like, no, I'm gonna file a motion to keep this quiet because that's unprecedented, and blah 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 blah, and yakety schmackety, and like, he has razor bumps underneath his chin. Never trust a black man with razor bumps. Something ain't right about that black man. Like, right here. That's all. I don't know.
Yeah, something's up with that. Something's up with that, Mike. Yeah. And so you said Cameron Daniels, right?
Yeah.
So that's who Samuel L. Jackson was portraying in Django. Anyway, you know what, Mike? Let me switch gears real quick, man, and ask you, because I've seen you on the DC comedy scene probably about 5 or 6 years. We've known each other. How did you get started in comedy, and how long have you been doing it?
All right, so I've been doing comedy roughly about 10 years.
Okay,
roughly about 10 years. It's actually 8, as my friend Eddie Bryant would say, as a discipline.
Yeah.
I've done it for about 8.
Okay.
I've been in the practice for about 10 years, 10, 11 years.
Yeah.
I got started. I went to Iraq. I always wanted to do it as a kid. I went to Iraq. I was raised in North Virginia. Went to Iraq, and as a sign of rebellion, when I came back, I moved from Norfolk to DC.
Okay.
And I felt like I've completed everything. You know, because you have kids, right? You have a couple. You
3
got kids.
kids.
Yeah. Okay. So as a parent, you always put these goals on your children, and then and that's what I felt like my mom and my family put goals on me, and I felt like after I came back from Iraq, I'm done here. I'm doing what I want to do with my life now. We're good here.
Yeah.
I've done everything I wanted to do. So
Right.
I moved to DC, and I wanted to start. I started doing comedy, and I met Dave Tullis, All Stars Comedy Club. I was looking to try to find out how you get into it, and the DC Improv one I couldn't really afford because I was new into town.
Yeah.
And my money won't that right. So I got the discounted version. I got the Dave Tullis comedy version, $25, and went to the All Stars Comedy Club, paid $25, and I was introduced to Dave Tullis. And his claim to fame was he had a joke about Little Caesar's Pizza. You know, it was like pizza. His was, I can't say the words is on it, but that was his punchline. That was one his claim to fame. Other claim was he was the first white guy on Def Jam. So
Dave Tullis. Okay.
Yeah.
Call him for some reason. Okay.
Yeah. And so I did like 3 of his classes, and I signed up on a Saturday to do the class. He told me to come back that Sunday, and I did my first show with Dingbat because it was a Dingbat showcase there. Yeah, and I never forget it. And he was like, "Hey man, you will do some time." I wasn't ready. I was like, "Man, I ain't ready,"
Yeah.
And I went up there and I did like the worst 3 minutes of my life. My closing bit was how the premise was how men can never read a sonogram picture. Right.
Okay.
So that was the premise. And so
Yeah.
they were like, this is the nose, and then normally the mother be like, "Oh no, but that's the eye, this, that, the third," and the man be like, "Oh, that's a belly button." Like, "Oh no, that's just the nose," or whatever. So so the grand finale, Maurice, this was my grand finale. I planned this out.
Yeah.
I got up in the chair and I hung upside down in the chair to represent the the fetus. But then the stage wasn't that big, and my weight in the chair, I fell out the chair sideways on the ground. So I got up, I politely put the mic back on the mic stand, and I was like, "Thank you, good night," and I kept walking. And as I kept walking out the door to my car. I left my friends there and everything. But I left my friends there and everything. So I went but I didn't stop. So I came back, and then that was like my only mic I did for like 3 years until they closed, because all the advice I ever gotten from like senior comics, veteran comics, was you want to keep your suck in one place. You don't want to spread that suck around. You don't want to suck everywhere. You want to suck in one spot. So I just I sucked in one spot at All Stars Comedy Club for 3 years. At their open mic every Tuesday and Wednesday, and I did that. So that was my story. I just always wanted to do it, man. I grew up watching Gallagher. That was my first comedian. Yeah, like most people, like I watched Def Jam, and I watched that. I didn't watch anything. I didn't get the comic view until like later on. Yeah, but I didn't get into Def Jam till like maybe like as recently as now. But it was always like Gallagher and Comic View, because I wasn't really allowed to watch HBO, so that's why I couldn't get the Def Jam like that. But so I watched a lot of Comic View because it was on BET, and I saw a lot of Gallagher. And I just thought, and it was just amazing, because I was like, man, people are paying money to be prepared to know they're going to get watermelon juice, and I just thought that was amazing, man. Like that's like think about that, Maurice. Like, how do you work on that? How you work that bit out? Like, where you go to what open mic you get to sign up? Where you just bring a bunch of watermelons in a sledgehammer? Like, I'm going to hit you with this water.
he just had that gimmick. I mean, that just took him to another level. I mean, that works out a lot for comics. It's if you can come up with something that nobody else is doing, and it works. it can take you to into the stratosphere. And for whatever reason, man, I mean, that thing was just hilarious for Gallagher. I mean, it just worked for him. But what was it for you when you realized, or how long did it take you, Mike, to realize that, okay, like how many years in before you realized, okay, I can do this. I can be pretty good at this.
I don't know. I mean, I'm good.
Or where you got the confidence, like
Yeah.
I'm doing this. I'm gonna keep doing this.
Yeah. I remember when I found my voice.
Okay. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember when
Yeah.
I found it, I was like year 5 or 6 in.
Okay.
And I like, oh man, I think I found my voice. And it sounded exactly like Kevin Hart. So I started watching a lot of Kevin Hart, and
Yeah.
I met my friend Greg Stevens, and it was me, Greg Adela, and we started traveling, like basically like working the city together, whatever. And as we got and we was getting better and better and better, and he became like my mentor. And I'm like, okay, I could do this. But I think it was basically when I did my first album, The Life and Times of Old Mike B. I was year 6 in.
Yeah.
And I recorded that, and I did, and it was this pure. I recorded out of pure frustration because I wasn't getting feature work or anything, or at that time it was you can't draw people. We don't know if he had the time, the confidence, and stuff like that, to do like 20, 30 minutes, whatever. And I've always been under the prescription of never wait for somebody else to give you an opportunity that you can create yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
Perfect.
if you so if you build it, people are going to eventually look at you like, hey, what are you doing over there?
Well,
oh, go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask you, do you, and speaking of that, when you think about comedy in Washington, D.C., because you get a lot, I know there's a lot, what you're talking about, there's a lot of uneven treatment of comedians in D.C. I found, and for no reason, it's very cliquish.
Yeah.
But you think it's like that in other places, like, I don't know, New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Boston, or is it just a D.C. thing?
No, in my MSNBC voice, Maurice, I'm gonna have to push back on that theory. I found, and I fell into that trap, and
okay.
But believe me, there's clicks.
Yeah,
but there are no clicks.
Okay.
I don't believe there's clicks at all, because I'm able to get in. I'm able to get in every room, if that makes sense.
Makes sense. Definitely makes sense.
If there's a click, you wouldn't be. There are people that wouldn't be able to get in. When I hear when somebody say, you're in a click, or there's a click, whatever. That's like a mental. That's like a roadblock, or there's a lock. There's a firewall. That's just telling you that you can't do this particular spot. You can't do that. You can't do this. Where all you got to do, and I tell everybody, just show up. And if you just show up and just be funny, they can't deny funny.
Well, there are rooms now. I got you on that. Yeah, show up, put the name on the list, get up there. But then there are others without, and I'm just speaking in a generality, because I definitely don't want to call anybody's name out. But there are some rooms you can't get into unless you email them.
Oh yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so when you email them, and then you realize, the same certain people keep getting on, and you're never getting on. And then there's a group of people like that. So I don't know if that means it's cliquish or what that's all about.
Oh, that's called quality control. But that's also but I think that also goes to us being kind of spoiled in DC, because I've went to
What's up, Kate?
I've went to LA, right?
Yeah.
And I say it like this. That makes us spoiled, because can you look at it like this in DC at any given time? Yeah, Marcus always trying to start trouble. At any given moment, you could do 3 mics in a night in DC. Any given night, right? In LA, I went to the Comedy Store, and I just went there. To take pictures and stuff like that, because I was like, there's no way I'm gonna get in here.
Yeah.
And there's a sign up list, and there's a sign up list just so you could be in the line to be denied to get mic time. and so it's like people literally are standing in line to get the opportunity to be able to get in the door. They sign name on the list, they sit in the line, they pick names, and then boom, like, yeah, you didn't make it. But it's like 2:00 in the afternoon. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we're spoiled. We're spoiled by that fact. At least you can get, at least you get rejected via your computer. You didn't even have to go outside. You just had to send the email. You just send the email. But if you want to get, I just say, if you want to get into that room, just email. And you keep getting rejected, just show your face. It's no different than like applying for a job. You're going to put your resume out there to 40 different companies. One is going to give you that opportunity. You get what I'm saying? But when you get the opportunity, and I tell people this all the time, when you finally get your opportunity, make sure that you're ready. And what I mean by that is, I've been doing comedy for almost 11 years, 8 as a discipline. Before the pandemic, I hosted my very first weekend at the DC Improv, like on the main stage, like 10 years. There are people that's been hosting more than that, with less time. They're 4 years, 5 years, 6 years in, know. So if it's easy to fall into that trap of getting down on yourself and be like, oh man, I'm not gonna make it because X, Y, and Z. I'm not gonna get the opportunity because I may not be that good. All you gotta do is just keep working. And then when you finally get that opportunity or get that chance, blow it out the water every single time. And I think a lot of times we never get to the opportunity. I think a lot of times some comics, they get in their head to the point where, oh, I'm not going to do this or I'm not going to do that because they don't rock with me, or they don't want me. I'm funny, but they don't see my funny. Okay, if you're funny, keep building over. That's why it goes back to keep building over here.
Yeah,
keep building over here. Build you, because the more noise that you make, trust me, there are people out there that's watching and hearing you. They're watching and they're hearing, like, what's all that construction going on over there? and then you find out, you're like, oh, I tell you this, I know you want me to rap. I know you. I'll put out this. That's why I did the first album, The Lifetimes of O Might Be. I did with my friends. I did an hour and like 15 minutes of everything that I've done in 6 years. Yeah, and then from there, that's when people started seeing.
Yeah,
I kept building over here.
Right.
And a lot of times there's people that's like, no, I want to be in this. They're like, okay, you may not be able to get in this now, but while you're still trying to get there, build over here. So when you finally get the opportunity to get here, you're ready.
Yeah.
Because it also culminates with the whole keep your suck in one place thing too as well. I'm sorry, I was running my mouth.
Oh no, it makes perfect sense. That's a very good high road to take. I mean, the reality for me is I have seen it, in a number of instances where it's like, why are these guys always kind of getting the same people? And it's not like these people are that funny either, Mike. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to be too critical and harsh. I'm just trying to say that I've noticed some favoritism in certain spots where you got to like go through a process, right? And I'm looking at, okay, fine, that's good. If you don't think I'm funny, that's fine. But if I see other people that are always getting on and they're not funny either, then, what are we doing? What are we really talking about? You see what I'm saying? So, but I still like the way you're looking at it, Mike. I mean, you got to take the high road. If you want respect, be good at what you do. And it'll make all the difference. So I understand that. Marcus Brown says, he feels like this. Be critical, Maurice. Go ahead and tell it. But he said he feels like this is a family reunion. We got 3 Browns in the crib now, dude. It could really be some trouble in this.
I don't know who my father is, so this could be. I don't. It could very well be a family reunion. You could be my uncle, Maurice. I don't know.
But I like what you're saying about that, though, Mike. Look, you just gotta be good at what you do, and people can't deny you. I've heard Steve Martin talk about that before. Just be good, be really, really great, and no one can stop you.
Yeah, I mean,
if you get to that point,
it's no different than like you look at a lot of these like Instagram shows and Instagram comedians, stuff like that, and now a lot of them are getting booked because they have their own following. You know,
Yeah.
And they didn't jump the line to being, headliners and stuff like that. It's the same. It's the same mentality.
Maurice is
Maurice.
dead now. Hey, I'm done with child support, Marcus. I'm done. I finished up last year, man. I'm done. Stop. But hey, Mike. But nah, man. It's I feel like comedy has a lot of drama to it. No matter where you go, you can go to Houston. Houston's got a drama story. L.A., Chicago, Boston, all these places. But I know that D.C. is a place that I've found to be different from most places. Like I'll ask you this: do you think the audiences in DC are more challenging than in other parts of the country?
Yeah. DC.
Yeah, tougher audiences. Yeah,
it's because you got like a tablespoon of every part of the country in one place because everybody's in the government.
right.
And then everybody's like political, so you gotta like step on toes. I was actually I like to say names. I was talking to my homegirl, Glow Butler, Glow Bear, as I affectionately called her, and she did my podcast, Cheap Plug Old Mike Radio podcast on iTunes, MIKE, and in DC, like she was good, but like her material was like it was it made people uncomfortable, and I think it made them politically uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
But she's not a political comedian, but her topics is what I'm saying. And I was like, oh, they'll love you. And my boy Greg and I was like, oh, they'll love you in New York. And she went to New York and like she's flourishing right now, like she's killing New York. You know what I'm saying? And because New York loves that stuff,
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, but
absolutely. And in DC. In DC, it's like, I don't know if you've had this experience either. And, you're talking about black room, a white room, a mixed room, a Hispanic room, whatever. You got so many different cultures in DC, and you got high class, low class, all this stuff going on. And you remember the blackface scandal with Governor Ralph Northam went down. And I made jokes about that over at Havana Village. I was talking about it. And God, I got a really good response from these jokes, so I did it over at another spot. I'm not even calling the spot's name. All white, and in Northwest. And I went in that joint early, and the guy saw me. I said, "Nobody in there." He was getting the room ready. I said, "Hey, yo, I'm over here. I want to sign up tonight. Do your thing. Just let you know I'm here." So I looked up about 20 minutes later, and the sign-up sheet everybody was on the sign-up sheet. And I'm like, and you know me, Mike, I don't ever get mad.
Yeah.
You've seen me for years. I don't think you've ever seen me angry with anybody.
Yeah, I think you pray about it first. I think you
always do that.
Yeah, you pray about it. Yeah, you pray
very
about
important,
it.
Mike.
You pray about it. You like, I'm gonna go up in here, and I hope nobody try me today, because my spirit is weary.
And I made
my spirit is weary.
Mike, yo, man, I must have forgot to pray this night, dude. I said, because and look, dude, everybody in there was white, and I didn't even know the guy, and I'd seen him before, and I never had a great vibe. I just never had a great vibe with the dude.
Yeah.
And I'm like, really? Everybody signed up. I went over there, man. I took the sheet and I signed up. And now I'm stewing, right? And they said, "Oh man, don't worry about it. He's gonna, once he does the comic call, he'll put you up at the top." All right. So he calls it out, and I'm saying to myself, if I'm 10th, I'm out of here. And he called me a number 9, right? I should have left anyway, right? Like I said, okay. So I go up there, dude, and I couldn't even concentrate on the set. Because I was just angry. But I was doing the blackface jokes. And, dude, the cord came out of the microphone and dropped up. It dropped, man. Nobody's laughing at any of these blackface jokes. They're all white, man, and they didn't like it, man. And I said, "Yo, man, what's wrong with the mic cord?" And he said, "Just put it back in." I said, "Oh, thanks. What's your name, man?" And there's a white girl in the audience said, "His name's Mike." I said, "Oh, okay." I'm not saying his real name because I'm not giving up the guy's identity.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. And so I went up there and continued to bob and walked off, right? And I said, never ever try to perform if you're angry. Have
Yeah.
you ever tried to do that, Mike?
I tried to perform angry, depressed, sad. It's just my best performance has always been with a teaspoon of anxiety and
Okay.
depression.
Yeah.
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 I've always able to pull that one off. Angry. I try to get out of those places if I'm angry.
Yeah.
I don't try
I
to.
should have left. Yeah. I just should have left.
Yeah. All jokes aside, yeah. If you angry, because it's like the energy that you put out there, the audience is going to receive. So if you're not in a good spot, and I still have yet to figure out how to turn that switch on, that performance switch on. I have to be in a good mood for at least an hour and a half, or I gotta get revved up. I gotta be hot, you know.
Yeah. Ready to go in a good mood. Plus, but getting back to the subject matter, though, I also think the subject matter was just really bad because I was going in on Ralph Northam and his attorney general. Both of them got caught up with the blackface stuff.
Yeah.
And, in Northwest DC, that demographic, man, they were like, no.
I was in blackface. What's the problem? I don't get it. They were probably, that's probably, they was probably all in blackface too, waiting for their pictures to come out. Maurice, you touched the nerve. That's what you did.
I did. Yeah. And it went great at Havana Village, man. They loved it over there, man. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna go over here, do the same thing. And so I guess that's what my question is. Do you find yourself adjusting to the demographic as far as the jokes you do?
I used to, but now I don't care.
Okay.
You never will get the same audience twice. Maybe I don't know. But it's like if this is you, if you're performing as Maurice Brown, the audience wants you, and I've always been, well, I'm not always. That's a lot. I've come to learn that that you shouldn't try to predict your audience. Just go out there and just do you. And if that particular sector doesn't get it, it's like doing marriage material, children material, relationship material, and then like DMV. Everybody in the audience ain't gonna be married. Everybody in that audience probably is pulling out. They don't have kids because they keep pulling out.
Yeah.
You got so it's like, but am I gonna sit there and be like, oh, I'm not gonna do X, Y, and Z because I feel like they're not gonna get it. And nothing is worse than predicting that something that you're gonna do is not gonna work, and then the comic behind you does something similar, not your joke or whatever, but like a premise.
Yeah, the same subject matter.
Yeah, and like it kills, and you're like, but my joke was funnier if I just would have did it,
Yeah.
So
then you end up kicking yourself. Yeah,
just present the best person, just present the best comic that you have, and don't worry about the audience, because if you're funny, it doesn't really matter. They may not, there might be sectors, excuse me, that don't get what you're saying, but I mean, they're not gonna get your whole set.
Right.
So yeah.
So how do you deal with hecklers, Mike?
I don't. I try to ignore them. I try my best to.
Is that right? For real?
Yeah, I try to ignore them. I try to acknowledge them, whatever. I don't know. It's I've always been taught to don't go in the audience unless you can get out.
Yeah.
So I might acknowledge them for a little bit, but I'm more of a after I acknowledge you a couple of times, it's like, all right, man, can y'all just get out?
Would you really go to that level, Mike, and just say get out?
Yeah, just get out. Because I'm not, you're not going to make a name off of me, and I'm not having a big name, but I'm not going to sit here and just be like, go back and forth with you. Now you're messing up my rhythm. And then you're changing the tone of the show because I'm going back and forth with you. And now the audience is like, ooh, forget these jokes.
Right.
I'm gonna see you have a Joan, a Joan contest or your mama contest, and that's like my biggest weakness is like your mama jokes and joning back and forth.
Yeah.
Like I got like a good 2 or 3 good comebacks You know, but then after that, then it's like, all right, man, look, listen, you trying to fight something? I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of surprising. Of course, I've seen you a number of times. I've never seen you get heckled or anything, but I know that there are some comics that live for it because they want to fry you.
Yeah.
You know, some comics want you to heckle them so they can destroy you, and then you have other comics that kind of like try to. I know myself, I just try to appease the person a little bit. Usually 85, 95% of the time, they'll just go away because all they want is attention anyway, half the time.
Yeah.
If you give them a little bit of something and say, yeah, that's a pretty good point, or you know what, but check this out, wait a second, or whatever, and then they kind of just go away. But you strike me as someone that might fry somebody up if they interrupted you. So
yeah, I mean, I could, but it just, I don't know. I don't stop. I don't know when to stop, and I just don't want to go there. It's like a
right, gotcha. Yeah.
I just don't want to go there. And I mean, you see me perform. I'm more of a fun-loving, go-lucky kind of person on stage a little bit. So it's like if I think because of that, and I could be wrong. I always tend to have the audience on my side. So if you did heckle me, the audience would probably fight you on my behalf. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, yeah, Mike. I was at you remember some Thursdays with Ralph Cooper back in the day, right?
Oh yeah.
And I think that might have been. I don't even know why Ralph dipped out because that was the best open mic I think I've ever been to in Washington D.C. Awesome Thursdays comedy night. Mm-hmm. And I don't even see Ralph around that much anymore for some reason. Ralph is a great dude, but I saw this guy come up there, and he was a gay comic, and he was just like attacking every ethnicity, but he was doing the white privilege jokes, right? Yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh! And brother in the back, dude, threw an unopened beer at him, right?
Damn.
The dude ducked, right? Mm-hmm. And he said, "You gonna meet me outside? I'm gonna be outside." the guy changed his whole joke line. I mean, he got off that. Yeah. But some people are violent, man.
Hey, look, there's an old adage in the black circle that says, okay. Hey, ain't nothing funny in the parking lot.
No.
It's funny in the parking lot. You don't want to go to the parking lot, and I don't want to go to the parking lot.
You don't want to go to the parking lot, but see, that's another deal, though. If you're just an offensive comic, you're asking for it. Yeah, you know what I mean? That's kind of like a different ball game. If you're just up there, you're just trying to do your set, and somebody's being rude. Well, that's one thing. But if you come out with that kind of edgy comedy, if that's what you want to call it. Yeah. And you start attacking people. And then he brought all of his friends with him. So they laughed at everything he said. Yeah. But it really wasn't funny. You're just being an arrogant jerk. Mm-hmm. And then you kind of ask for it. But talking about hecklers just made me think of that. Now I know you have a podcast going. Can you tell us a little bit about that, Mike?
Oh yeah, it's called the Open Mic Radio Podcast. You see how my wife do? She waits till I get ready to plug stuff, then she start banging glasses and stuff around. That's what she does. It's okay. That's what she does. But yeah, it's called the Open Mic Radio Podcast. Open MIKE Mic Podcast. I've been doing it for several years now. Not consistent. This is the first time I've been consistent. I do it in stages or seasons or series, whatever. I record like 8 or 9 episodes in 2 weeks, and then I spread it out. I release the episodes over the course of a couple of about 2 or 3 months.
Okay.
I just interviewed like right now, me and you interviewing each other, comics. Yeah. I have other people. I've opened up my network now a little bit more, so I'm gonna have like caterers and stuff like that. We just talking smack, talking trash for like an hour. Let's have fun. But I also have an album. I don't know if he's gonna bring that up, but I'm gonna bring it up.
Please do. But talk about that, please.
Yeah, the second album is called I Talked About the Life and Times All Might Be, which is I'm about to release on iTunes. Okay. But my other album, #Promote Might Be, is out right now. Is on iTunes, Google Play, Amazon Music. It's on YouTube.
Wow, nice.
I recorded this last year. It was part of my big I was making the big jump, Maurice, to featuring and stuff like that, and then the pandemic happened. But it debuted #1 on iTunes for 2 weeks.
Wow,
straight.
man, beautiful.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, so I think some of my best work is a 40 minute. If you got 40 minutes, I know you do because you ain't doing that know how.
Right.
Go ahead and pay the $9.99. If you can't swing it, but you just paid your Apple Music, your Apple Music whatever subscription, just download it, listen to it, give me some feedback, whatever. But I think it's my best work to date thus far.
Where did you do this special?
I did it on both of them. I did them both at the DC Art Center.
Okay.
I stole that idea from two people. So shout out to Royce Wynn. Is one. He's currently out in New York. And Samson. Okay. You might have heard of Samson, comedian Samson McCormick, first openly gay comedian, black male comedian.
Okay.
To do I want to say the Lincoln Theater. It was either Lincoln or I think it was Lincoln Theater.
So how many people did you have come out?
Sold it out, man. That's why I did it. That's why I did it at the Art Center. The capacity is low. You want to build low and make it bust out the seams to make you have to get a bigger venue. It holds about 45, 50 people.
Okay.
And sold out. So it sold out. Both shows sold out in a week, less than a week both times. And it's really good. It's a box theater. So the seats are they rise up, low ceiling. Good acoustics. Good if you plan on.
Oh man, that sounds like a nice spot to do a special. Did you charge at the door?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I did mine's in advance. I do Eventbrite. I need my money, and so because hey Maurice, man, you put the piece together and you do Facebook invite, whatever, and everybody said they're gonna go, but it ain't real to that Eventbrite notification. So it ain't real, man. You do them joints, the free open mics, and they be like, yeah, I'm showing up. The open mic happened. It's like 2 people in the audience, but Facebook said 50 people said they showing up. So it ain't real to us. Eventbrite notification. Money. Look, money. Money equals commitment.
I did a show. Mark Palchik, older comic.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was doing an old head show with Lisa Martin, a bunch of other people, and they did a tip jar through Venmo.
Okay.
And they actually, we all got decent amount of change from that. I was kind of shocked at that, working out that way. Which I might try doing more things like that in the future. I was surprised that. I mean, it's not like we made a boatload of money, but I made more than I thought was possible to doing a Venmo tip jar.
Yeah.
People will actually contribute to it. It just depends on how you market it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the best part when I talk about how, building over here till you get your opportunities where you want to be at. You're teaching yourself how to market. You're teaching yourself the business of comedy, the ins and outs, things of that nature. And those are all tools you're going to need anyway, because according to the Comedy Bible, the very first line that opens up is your next gig will be booked by a comedian, not a booker. So
right.
That stuck with me. That resonated with me, as they say in the church. It hit my heart just a little bit.
They do say that in the church, but so how can fans follow you on social media, Mike, or even contact you for booking?
Oh, absolutely. Look, if you look at my name, I conveniently located my Twitter and Instagram right here at OMightB757. So you ain't got to think about it. Just go directly to the Instagram or whatever, or the Twitter. I'm a lot more active on Twitter. There's a lot of ignorance on Twitter, Maurice. You need to get you a Twitter and just get into the ignorance. It's great. It's great.
It's a lot of ignorance up there.
Yeah. So
our president that's his main drag. That in and of itself explains the ignorance. Anyway, Mike, go ahead, bro.
Yeah. So if you already my friend on Facebook, so because you're watching me here, email me omightb@icloud.com, or go on my website omightb@omightb.com. It's all spelled right here.
Okay.
Omightb OLMIKEB.com. Did I pay that bill? I did pay that bill. We're good. Yeah, we're good. So you should be able to. It should be under construction or anything. It should be good. And yeah, that's it. And then get my album on iTunes. if you type in Mike B in the search engine or just hashtag promote Mike B. Actually, matter of fact, you ain't gotta do all that. Just go on my link tree and all my stuff is linked right there. And it's on Mike B757. It's in the bio. And everything you want, everything you need of me is there. And also I got t-shirts. So inbox me, I got t-shirts too. So
awesome stuff.
And I don't know if we're wrapping this up, but if we are, man, thank you for having me, man. You booked me out 9 months. I purposely stayed alive, Maurice. I purposely stayed alive so I could be here for your show. Now I might die tomorrow, but I purposely stayed alive long enough to do the show.
Yeah, you stayed alive long enough to make the show, Mike. You made the show, dude. I appreciate it, man. I tried to get all the quality comics lined up, man. I've committed to do this show for the year. Matter of fact, I got picked up by Roku TV, so
nice.
They decide who goes on the show. So you never know if you might get picked up. I'll let you know.
Okay, I need that credit.
Yeah. So it's been pretty good to me, man. I think I might be onto something. The show's been working out pretty good. Then I got my kids. I got 3 kids, all of voting age, by the way, and they're going to be helping us with our effort to change COVID-19.
Absolutely.
But they help me with the social media stuff because I don't know what I'm doing. But anyway, no, Mike, thanks for being on the show, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Brown from Washington, D.C. And one more time, tell everybody about your album that you just released, how they can get it real quick. One more time, Mike.
iTunes, hashtag promote Mike B. You got to throw the hashtag in there. Hashtag promote Mike B. It's my album.
Okay.
iTunes, Apple Music, etc.
Check it out, everybody. Very funny DC comedian, Mike Brown. Check him out. Mike, once again, thanks for being on the Maurice Brown Show, man. God bless you. May the peace of Christ be with you and your family, bro.
I appreciate that, bro. Thank you.
Yes, sir.